Hey everybody, I am Maura Daly. I am the Marketing and Community Director at the Forge Lemont Quarries. If I didn't get a chance to meet you last week, it's great to have you all with us this evening for the second Quarryside Chat. You may have heard some exciting news that we will be having these Quarryside Chats every Thursday moving forward till opening this summer. So we had so much exciting information to share, so many things that we want to show you all, the community, that we thought, you know what, let's do this every Thursday night at 6:30 to 7 on Zoom. So we are excited to offer this space for you each week moving forward. Again, there'll be Thursday night, 6:30 on Zoom. We'll share all the information on our social channels. So if you don't already follow us, please follow us. We're on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter. You can find us everywhere. And we'll share all the details and information with you to join us each week. We have a real treat for us tonight. We have kind of changed the format of these, and we actually have our co-founders, Chris Gladwin and Jeremie Bacon, out at the park. We are super grateful that the rain is holding off. The guys are at the park with two other colleagues, and they're really excited to give you a sneak peek tonight of two of our exhilarate areas at the park, our 8-tower adventure course, as well as our Bouldering Park. So I will let them take it. But before I do, I just want to remind everybody, if you can make sure that your audio and visual are muted. We have a great crowd here tonight, so we want to make sure that you guys can focus on the park and check that out. And then I also do want to encourage you, please, 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 this is a great opportunity to ask any and all questions that you might have, either about the areas that we're showing you at the park tonight or anything in general. If you have any pressing questions that you want to get answered tonight, please feel free to send those to my attention on the chat function of Zoom so that I can see your questions. And then we'll try to get as many of those answered by the team out at the park tonight. With that, I'm really excited to kick it over to Chris to talk about the 8-tower adventure. Chris, take it away.
Hey, Maura, thanks so much. Awesome to be here. Like you said, the weather looks great right now. We're about to get a sunset and maybe a little rain later tonight, but looks good right now. So I'm here with Hannah, who's one of the incredible people that is making this thing a reality. And we're going to talk a little bit about the X Tower. So Hannah, tell us, hey, what do you do at the Forge?
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm Hannah Sorich. I'm the operations manager here at the Forge. So I oversee all of our activities. So that includes our mountain bikes, our boats, tactical laser tag, AR escape games, and then our awesome ropes course adventure here, which we call 8-tower adventure. And that's what we're super excited to show you guys today. So Chris, do we want to show them the West X Tower here?
Yeah, let's pop over to that because we're right here. So I'm going to flip the video around and get, so Hannah, if you could tell us, like, what are we looking at here as we step back and zoom up?
For sure. So this is our West X Tower. So this is one of our 8 towers here. And on this side, you can see we have a bunch of elements that go across. So those white ropes, if you can see them, would basically be the different paths that you would go across, going platform to platform. And there's some super fun elements on this. I'm super excited to get up there and try it out. On the other side of this tower, there's some more traditional climbing holds on that side. We have in the center of this tower, we're also going to have elements that go in between. So maybe if we want to kind of step around this way.
Oh, cool. I didn't realize that. That's the first time I knew we were going to, I was always wondering what was going to happen.
Yeah, so we're going to have elements that go in between, back and forth, in the middle as well. And then once you get up to the top, there's going to be rappel stations, and then our super exciting element here, which is our zip line. Which, over here so we can get a better view. Yeah, so the zip line will go all the way from the top here, and it will go all the way across the quarry. It's about 980 feet. You can probably barely even see on the other side where you would land. So it's pretty big. We're really excited about that.
Oh, that's cool. So that's not even the longest zip line here. And no. I think on another Quarryside Chat, we're going to be at the skyscraper tower and talk about that, which is even longer.
Right. Yeah. So our skyscraper tower has one that's I believe 1,018 feet on
Yeah.
that one.
So one question I have as we look at this tower is like, what if you're a beginner, you
Mhm.
know, or if you're like an expert or in between? How do you know, does it fit each of those kind of people?
Yeah, for sure. So we have different paths for every level, for everyone really, whether beginner or experienced. You can decide on which path you want to take. So basically, there's going to be signs that'll mark the difficulty. And if you decide, okay, this is my first time out, I'm a little nervous, I want to start on the easier crossings, you can totally do that. And you would kind of go through the course and watch the signs and take your turns depending on what the level of difficulties you want to take. So it's kind of a choose your own adventure, and I'm super excited about that for sure.
And like, how do you figure all this out? Is there like different courses you take, or how does that work?
Yeah, so there's going to be different paths that are marked out. So you'll follow, let's say I think there's something like 8 easy ones, a few medium ones, and then a couple of hard paths that we'll have. And you decide, you'll start on the easy paths and you'll keep following the signs for that. And you'll end up doing that. And then let's say in the middle, you're like, okay, I'm feeling good, I've got this, I want to switch over to a medium path. You'll start taking the signs and you'll start following that path and that course. And then eventually you'll kind of hit one of our drop zones and you can drop there, or you can end at our zip lines and zip across the quarry.
So is that like this thing up here, like way at the top? That's the drop zone.
So that, yeah, we'll have a rappel station on our X towers here, and then at each of our hex towers, they will have a drop station as well.
Cool. And then I guess one question is about safety. Like, how does that work?
Yeah,
How
for
do you
sure.
make sure people are safe?
Yeah, each person is going to have a full body harness and personal protective equipment. So carabiners and different trolleys that they will use that we inspect every day. And that's how you clip on, and basically you use this little keying system that I'm sure we'll talk about in another Quarryside chat. And you key in, and once you're on the system, you can't come off. So that's pretty much how that works.
Cool. All right, Maura, are we ready to hand it over to Jeremie at the Bouldering? I think he's got some really cool stuff to show over there as well.
Absolutely. Jeremie,
Fantastic.
take it away.
Thanks. I hope you can all see me here. What a beautiful night. I'm standing here actually on top of one of the boulders in our bouldering park, which is in the dead center of the 8-tower adventure part of Lemont Quarries Adventure Park. What we decided to do when we were building this park out is we wanted to give people an opportunity to experience all kinds of different climbing challenges. So as Hannah and Chris just showed you over at the East X Tower, you have the ability and the opportunity to come out and climb everything from beginner routes through to expert routes on the walls. But if you climb, you also know it's a lot of fun to also practice your climbing skills on boulders. And that's exactly what these are. I'm going to switch my camera around and show you what we have here. You'll see there's a whole series of these super large boulders that make it possible for you to come out and practice your skills as a climber. And with bouldering, it's a lot like being up on a climbing wall itself, but you don't have to be harnessed in. You don't have the same level of height to think about and to worry about. So it's a fantastic way to learn how to climb. One of the really neat things about where we put the bouldering park is, again, you can see we're right in the middle of the 8-tower adventure zone. And so imagine being out here in the summertime when you can look all around you at any moment and see literally, hundreds of your closest friends and family safely social distancing while experiencing the 8 Towers adventure. I'm going to take a moment here and turn the microphone over to my colleague, Byron Bell, who is the general manager here at Lemont Quarries Adventure Park, who's going to talk a little bit more about some of the elements associated with climbing and some of the equipment and gear that you can use when you come out to climb at the park. Byron?
Hey guys, thanks so much for joining us out here tonight. It's an awesome night, and you guys can kind of see from the different videos that you've seen how amazing this stuff is going to be. But in terms of our bouldering walls, we have a really cool and unique opportunity. I'm going to switch my camera around here so you guys can see a little bit more closely about what those kind of systems look like. So our bouldering walls As you can see, they're modeled after real rock, which is pretty exciting. So they have natural holds and features that are in there, so you can climb with the feeling of natural or real rock as you go up. In addition to that, we will have, where these small bolts are, many different removable holds or replaceable holds, and those will change frequently. So if you're not familiar with bouldering, bouldering uses a graded system going from V0 up to V16 to denote difficulty level. We'll be setting our route somewhere between the V0 to V6 range, which is a great way to learn. Beginner routes are from V0 to V2, and up from there kind of gets into a mid-range all the way up to V6, which is pretty challenging. And as our members and guests get better at bouldering, we'll start setting maybe some harder routes. We're planning to reset the routes frequently so that you always have a new challenge when you come to the course. So pretty exciting there. Some other really cool things when you're talking about bouldering, kind of what equipment you want to use. What, as Jeremy mentioned, you're not harnessed in for bouldering, which gives you a lot of freedom of movement for some dynamic and powerful movements, but you also want to be prepared and wear the proper equipment while you are bouldering. Now, if you just came to the park with your sneakers on and comfortable, pants or shorts and a comfortable shirt to wick moisture away as you're, making your way through the course, that's totally fine. And you'll definitely be able to do some of the easier climbs on the boulders here. But if you really want to get the power and be able to climb hard on these routes, you're really going to want to wear climbing shoes, which you're more than welcome to bring and use, not only at the bouldering area, but also on the climbing walls on the X towers, both the East and West X towers, which Hannah and Chris were describing earlier. So it's a really exciting option and opportunity for everybody to really get familiar with climbing and have multiple styles of climbing. For those who become members and are members, this is a fantastic way to get in and stay in amazing shape. Bouldering requires a lot of upper body strength, but also a lot of leg strength and balance as well. So really exciting way to kind of explore and get in good shape and be outside in an amazing environment while doing it.
So one of the things that I would just add quickly there, Byron, too, since you mentioned it, when you come out to the park to enjoy the experience here, you have the option of using our equipment or, bringing some of your own for things like the bouldering zone. The other thing that I would say is that as you come out here, there's a single price to do everything here in the park that's associated with the 8 Towers Adventure, the Bouldering Park, and all the other things that we're going to be showing over the course of the next several weeks leading up to our open. So a single day activity pass gets you access to everything here in the park that is associated with climbing, ropes course, bouldering, and our mountain biking skills tracks and other elements that we'll be talking about in the weeks coming. Pretty exciting. Why don't we take a moment and kick it back over to Chris and Hannah. They are going to show us a couple of more elements of the 8 Tower Adventure, while also giving us an opportunity to tell you a little bit about some of the elements and activities that you'll see over there. Chris?
Awesome. Thanks, Jeremy. Thanks, Byron. Good to see you guys. So we were just over at the East X Tower, and then this is a shot of that. You can see a little bit further away. And then this is on this side, you can see the climbing walls that Hannah mentioned that had kind of more traditional climbing holds. And there that allows us to get, high degrees of difficulty for more experienced climbers. And then you can see kind of up at the top on the right side is the platform where you can rappel, also known as jump down, with the safety rope. And like that I think the tower is something like 90 feet and the platform is like 80 feet up,
something like that, somewhere around there, for sure.
And this gives you a sense, like, I guess one question I have for you, Hannah, is why do we call it 8 towers?
Yeah, because we have 8 different towers here. So this is our East X Tower, as we had mentioned, and we are now standing over at what we're calling Hex Tower 5 here. That Hex Tower, because it is a hexagon shape, if you look at the top there, because it's showing it well. And it has 3 different levels, all these different elements on it. A bunch of different paths go through this Hex Tower. I'm super excited. I think it's gonna be awesome. And basically, our different towers, so we were just looking at our East X Tower, and there's going to be these small little zip lines that go from tower to tower. So that's how you get from each tower. So if you even go that way, you can see some towers off in the distance that you'll zip back and forth between them.
And then way back over there is the West X Tower, which is
Yep.
just like the one on the east side.
Yep.
But it's an adventure getting over there.
Yeah.
And then we can zoom over here and see the skyscraper tower.
Yep.
We're going to talk more about that in a future Quarryside Chat, but that thing is enormous.
Yeah, that one has our longest zip lines, and it is our tallest rappels. That one's a monster, and
It's
gonna
not
be
just
awesome.
that, it's the tallest zip line tower in the world.
yes,
I
yes.
mean, it's 120 feet tall. You can see there's zip lines coming off of there, and
Yep.
then there's 3 rappelling platforms.
Yep.
So let's look at this one and talk about, I guess one of the things I'm curious about is,
Mhm.
you know, if somebody really thinks they've got skills and balance in climbing, does this really get hard? And what are some good examples of some real challenge elements?
Yeah, for sure. So you can kind of see that we have 3 different levels here on the platforms. So down here, like we got this platform over here that's like almost like a stepping stones element. And that one, would probably be one of our easier elements, including this bridge. More stable elements like that. There are a lot of those. But then as you get higher up, you can kind of see on the 3rd level there are these logs, and they move as you are going across them. They go back and forth, kind of teeter-tottering. So you got to keep your balance as those are moving and you're moving across. So that one's hard. So basically a lot of our elements on the 3rd level of this hex tower are more difficult. So we have these rope footholds here. That one's definitely difficult. You can even see on the end there, the wind has kind of wrapped them up, and it gets pretty hard. And then this one,
It's like almost like a tightrope.
yeah.
And then you've got these buoys you can hold on to. Now, obviously, you can see everywhere there's a safety line above.
Mm-hmm.
Even if you fall, you're clipped in.
Right, exactly. So you're always connected to the safety system using the Smart Snap. And we're super excited about these buoy elements. I think they're really cool. Can't wait to try those out. This one over here actually too is a moving element. Yeah, it'll slide back and forth right here in the middle. So you'll kind of ride that, pull yourself across, which is pretty cool. And then you can kind of see over here, this is a good example, is that you can move from level to level. So for example, this crossing here, you'll go from level 1 up to level 2, and then you'll just kind of choosing your path from there.
Awesome. Well, I guess I feel like I don't know, I think we should maybe hand it over some audience questions. See if, I don't know, I'm curious to see what people are interested in hearing more about.
And Chris, it's Jeremie here. As we kick it over to questions, there's one thing I wanted to quickly highlight as we're getting them rolling in here, and that is that for those of you that have been following the story of the Forge Lemont Quarries Adventure Park from its earliest days, you know that one of the things that we really value as a business is inclusivity and accessibility. So one of the elements that we designed into this park that will be open, that will be available on opening day, is some accessible activities here in the 8 Towers Adventure as well. And what we mean when we talk about accessibility is that we believe that everyone, whether you're full-bodied or in a wheelchair and partially abled, should have the opportunity to come out and enjoy these same activities regardless. So what we've done for day 1 is we've actually been able to implement a system that will allow us to bring guest participants from the ground and hoist them all the way up to the X Tower skyscraper platform tower that Chris and Hannah showed us earlier, and you'll be able to experience the zip lines going out over the lake, which should be a lot of fun. Shortly after we open the park here this summer, you'll also be able to come out and experience the aerial challenge course. Actually, some of the elements that Chris and Hannah were just showing you here on this hex tower, we're going to be refitting with additional equipment to allow for more safety belay systems that will help people to be able to access and enjoy this park again, regardless of their physical abilities, which we're really excited about. Which is the last thing I would say quickly about accessibility. Although we're still in construction mode here, as you can obviously see, the park itself is ADA accessible. So we've specifically groomed and worked all the trails here in the active zones of the park to ensure that guests can experience and enjoy the park by walking or by taking a wheelchair or other other assistive device. All right, that's what I wanted to say. I guess I'll shut up now and turn it over to Maura to answer some questions or tee them up.
No, thanks for that. And I appreciate you talking about the accessibility, Jeremie. Great minds. We had a question from one of the participants about that. So thanks so much for speaking to that. We have a question here from Michael. He's asking, can you reserve a time for the zip line experience?
Yes, short answer is yes. In fact, as part of our COVID-19 operations plan, which is available in part currently on our website and will soon be available in full on the website, we're actually requiring that guests pre-book their times out at the park. The major reason for that, of course, is because we want to ensure that our guests are safe and that they're also comfortable being out here in the outdoors. I think everyone probably has done a lot of reading over the course of the last few weeks and seen that, you know, as near as we can tell, being outside and sheltering outside with your friends and family is a fantastic way to stay safe, to stay healthy and have a great time. But it means that we have to be cautious and we have to take the state of Illinois' reopening phased plans very, very seriously. So we're doing that here at the park as well. So you'll book your time, whether it's for the ropes courses on the 8-tower adventure or a zipline adventure, or even our other activities that are available from day one as well, such as the biking park, our laser tag, our augmented reality, canoeing and kayaking and paddling and all that kind of stuff. So great question.
Awesome. So Mary has a couple of questions here. First one, do we have a date for opening?
As of right now, we're on track for a July 1st opening. Who knows if we're actually going to hit that date or not, because you never know what's going to happen between now and then. But as of today, it looks like a July 1st open is in the cards. So starting next week, we'll actually be opening up our booking and reservation system so people can go online and start booking out their adventures all summer long.
Awesome. Awesome. Thanks for that. Hannah, Chris, I'm going to kick you guys a question about the 8-tower adventure. They want to know how long does it take to get through the course?
You know, that's a super awesome question because we've been talking about that. The question is, if somebody was really in good shape and had elite level, you know, balance and climbing skills, how long would it take to cover all 270 something elements? And then you also have the question of if you're on one of those, like, because at some of the levels, the element's like literally a slack line or a tightrope, you know, for the hardest ones. And if you fall, even though you're safely caught, you have to go back and start over. I'm assuming yes, to really say you did it. And I think the estimates have been like 8 hours or 10 hours. And then we're talking about, like, you know, it's like running a marathon. I mean, you're really winded, you're really working it. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm sure people are gonna, you know, I want to do all the elements and see how quickly, you know, like what the fastest is and how fast people can do it. But it'll be at least 8 hours, maybe days.
To that end,
activity.
To that end, we actually designed this park to be nigh unto impossible to complete in a single day. The idea is that there's so many elements and so much fun here that you can come back again and again and again and complete new challenges and really level up your experience.
You know, one thing, I don't know, Byron, are you ready to show that? Yeah, so one thing we were thinking of showing real quick is the safety system, because Byron's got it operating right over here. So let me flip my camera around, and he's going to show the system where you clip in. In order to clip in, you have to, I'm getting some echo. Actually, if you could move, yeah. You have to clip out. So like on one side, you clip in, on the other side, you clip out. So actually, Byron, I'm going to move this microphone over to you so that you can talk.
Okie dokie. So to go over this here, we have what's called our Smart Snap, which Hannah was referencing earlier. This is your main belay device. So you'll have kind of two systems that you're utilizing throughout the experience. This is the main one that Chris is talking about, where one side is unlocked and one side is locked, which is a really exciting kind of feature, which allows you to move comfortably and safely throughout the course. So one side is always locked on, which is the side that's locking you onto the course. One side is unlocked for you to maneuver to the next activity. So for example, we're here at the East X Tower talking about the rock climbing walls. The first thing that you would do if you were climbing up this would be to clip the safety device onto yourself, onto your hard point, which is this element here holding you on. And then you would take your Smart Snap, a secondary backup belay device, and you would take it and you clip it onto one of these keys. You'll find these keys throughout the course, and these will allow you to access different areas. Once I clip on here, I can go ahead and key this in, just like this. I insert it into the key area here. Once I do that, you hear a click, it's locked in. Now this side is completely locked on. I can't get out of this side, I'm on this. This side is locked, unlocked for my next activity. So at this point, I'm actually ready to climb up, and I'm doubly secured into my harness. So the device that I'm attached to here is for vertical ascension. It's called an ALV, and essentially how it works is, as I were, if I were climbing, I would climb up. If for whatever reason I would slip and fall, this device acts like a seatbelt, and when you pull it down, it locks in place. So if you were to slip or fall, you would be held in place. So once you're off of this element, you would clip then onto a different element and continue your journey.
Yeah, that sounds great. So the basic idea is you can't really detach from the course once you come off the ground. You basically, even if you fall off an element, as you move from one to the other, you're always connected.
Yes. So the way that we kind of think about it here is we're always attached. So from the second you get onto the course, you will be responsible for clipping that, which is a really fun experience and gives you control of your activities. You'll be checked before you go up to make sure by one of our staff members that you are secured fully to the course, and then you'll be allowed to ascend. Once you're up fully in the air, you'll be able to clip yourself on, as Hannah was mentioning, to choose your own adventure and pick which difficulty level, which element, which zip line, which hex tower you want to kind of utilize. So it's a really easy to use, intuitive system. It'll take you maybe 5 minutes to learn, and then another 5 minutes to get used to it while you're climbing, and then you're up in the air having a great time.
All right, cool. All right, let's flip it back to Maura. Any other questions from the audience?
That's awesome. Thanks for clarifying the safety issues. We had a lot of questions about that. We had a question come in that Michael wants to know, will the park be open year round?
You want to take that one, Jeremie?
Sure. The answer to that question is yes. We are going to be open all year long, and you can enjoy the 8-tower adventure in snow, in rain, on a hot sunny day, on a cool spring morning, whenever. And in fact, coming out and enjoying these activities during different environments, different weather patterns and stuff, actually adds to the excitement and adds to the value of the experience. Now, it goes without saying that we will obviously be always keeping track of the weather. So on particularly stormy days, super high gusts of wind, and or if there's lightning in the area, we'll of course pull people down from the course, and we've designed places within the park to allow you to shelter in place and prepare to get back out there on the ropes courses as soon as the weather clears.
That's awesome. So the last question that we have here is actually for all 4 of you. What activity are you most excited about at the park? Jeremie, since you're up first, do you want to give it a go?
Sure. I think the thing I'm most excited about is challenging the extreme level of the park, the rope of the 8-tower adventure day 1. I'm going to try to finish the 2 expert courses and the impossible challenge, followed by a zip line adventure across the quarries, and then double back to do some rappelling off the top of the skyscraper tower.
All right, how about you, Hannah? What's your most excited thing about the park that you want to do?
I'm excited to rappel off the skyscraper tower personally. The height, I'm excited for the tallest zip line. I'm just super excited for the skyscraper tower.
Byron, how about you?
I'm really, really excited, and I think I'm on a similar vein to kind of where Jeremie is, in that I want to do every single ropes course element in one fell swoop. If it takes me 8 hours, I'm going to be doing it. I'm going to be up there for 8 hours. It's going to be fantastic, and my goal will be to definitely try to hold the course record for the fastest time going through the ropes course. So the challenge is out to everybody out there. Come and try to beat me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't mean to be cliche, but I got the same answer. I mean, I definitely would like to really do the whole thing. I mean, just getting to experience like all the different elements, the challenge of, you know, I mean, for me personally, like, I don't know how to slackline. I don't know how to tightrope walk. I mean, that's going to be hard, but learning to do that, I think will be really, really fun.
Fantastic. Well, thanks, guys at the park. That was fantastic. It's good to see the sun behind you. Really neat to see those two elements. Sadly, we are out of time, but there was a super awesome tour there that you gave us all of the park. Again, I want to remind everybody that we're doing this every Thursday moving forward. So the next Quarryside Chat will be May 21st, next Thursday, 6:30. And we're going to actually dive deeper into two of the exciting elements that we talked about today, the X Tower, where we started tonight's Quarryside Chat. And then we're gonna dive into that skyscraper tower, that massive, massive structure that we got a sneak peek of tonight. And then we'll also talk a bit about the water sports. So again, that's next Thursday, May 21st, 6:30 p.m. here on Zoom. We'll share more information about it on our social channels so that you can get registered and RSVP, and then we'll share the specifics with you day of. So again, next Thursday, May 21st. Make sure to follow us on all our social channels. We're sharing a bunch of great updated information and images and video from the park that we're really excited to share. And we can't wait to have you all out there with us. But until then, again, join us next Thursday, May 21st for Quarryside Chat number 3, and we will see you then. Thanks everybody at the park. We'll see you soon.